Okay. Let's go ahead and save both of these because that is a good thing to look at. Let's see. Here is the notes for today. So I'm going to just do some pages with outputs and then I will go through and figure this out. This was the frequency. No, this is the presence penalty. Sorry. We have so many things open right now. And I need to move this down. Right? I am in the wrong window. There we go. That's what happens when I click away from things. All right. So this
What about
was
point of view? Point of view,
okay.
like first person, third person. I see you talking about you when you step onto the porch, blah blah blah.
Oh, that's interesting. Did it switch into
On the third paragraph, it was.
Yes, you're greeted by shadows dancing across hardwood floors. I asked it to describe it, so let's see what this one says. As you step inside, I think it just thinks that when it's going to describe something, it's going to speak to you. So use second person. Okay. I'm going to hold on to those. If you use an LLM to analyze your writing style, could you also ask which parameters would be best suited to that style? You could probably ask. I'm not sure if it understands that, and it might lie to you and hallucinate because it's not good at reporting back factual information. Okay. Okay. We have another one to go over, and then we're going to break for a little bit here. Presence penalty. Okay, presence penalty. Presence penalty controls how likely the model is to directly use the same words that appeared in the original prompt or context. So a higher presence penalty discourages the model from repeating key words from the prompt, while a lower penalty allows for more reuse of those words. Okay, so feels a little backwards. But for example, a high presence penalty might stop the AI from using the word beach in its response if beach was in their original prompt. So if you don't want it to use words that were in the original prompt, you should turn up presence penalty. You should make it so the presence penalty is very large. If you don't care, you want it to use words that were in the original prompt, you should turn presence penalty down. Okay. Oops. I hit the wrong button. I must stop the share instead of moving to the other window. I'm batting a lot today. And I think that's the wrong window. Oh, good Lord. New share. Is it this one? No. That's what I get for going ahead and doing the wrong thing. We will switch over to the desktop and I will go to the window that I had open. There it is. And that's why, because I was in this presenting mode. All right. Okay. So we have the presence penalty, right? We're going to be looking at that here on Playground. I have it turned down to 0 on all of these. So what does that mean? Down to 0 means a low penalty means I can use the words from the prompt. So I'm fine with that. I turned it all the way down to 0. But if I don't want to use the same words, you're going to want to turn it all the way up. Let's go ahead. Please describe a typical house in Salem, Massachusetts. And we'll turn up presence penalty. Did it really work all that well? Because my prompt is very, very short. So if I had a longer prompt and I didn't want it to use the same words, I would have to turn it all the way up. So let's try that instead. Let's do a longer prompt. Please describe a mid-century modern house with a slate roof and a yellow exterior and how that looks to someone walking down the street. I have the presence penalty up to 2, so it would be great if it didn't use a lot of these words. Let's see. Okay. It did use slate roof, but it did not use it many times. It said it's yellow exterior reminiscent of sunflowers in full bloom. Let's hold on to this. And let's go back over to the playground. We will have it turn the presence penalty all the way down. It was up to 2, and now we're going to do interesting. So it also did something very similar, but it wrote it in a bit of a different style. It has used the word yellow a few times. It's used the word slate a few times. It has used mid-century modern over again. So it is using these same words over again because the presence penalty is very far down. Okay. This pretty much ends our lesson for today. There is more information in the RIXI prerequisites Google Slides presentations you can look at. It goes over more about context windows and how big they are. It also goes over different models having different context windows, which a lot of you understand and know about already because we talked about how GPT 3.5 16K has a context window of 16K, whereas Claude 100K has one of 100K. So their models are different and their context windows are much different as well. And one of the things to worry about when it comes to context windows is how big they are. So if you're stuffing them with lots of data and you're sending all of that data every single time, it can get very expensive because I told you at the beginning of class about tokens and how we're paying per token. We're paying for the prompt plus the response that comes back. So it's important to understand how big those things are. And then there's some information here about opening up these accounts before you start using RIXI. Okay. So that's some foundational information that you need to know about prompting, what those hyperparameters mean on the side, the sliders on RIXI, they're over on the left-hand side, and you can play with them as well. Temperature, top P, frequency penalty, top K for Claude, right? So there's a lot of different things here you can play with to get different styles and whatnot out of ChatGPT or Claude. The world is your oyster. Feel free to go and play with them and see the differences in the responses. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and ask questions about this, or we can go ahead and ask questions about your projects and whatnot. And in that case, we will turn off the recording so that we can keep it private.